morning, and I figured you guys can be with me while I make biscuits and gravy while we talk about two cases. One is about the Alexander brothers, breaking news, highlight, real estate tycoons. Their company, their family company, had something like $7 billion or some type of ridiculous type of money. We're going to go through all of that in just a second. Did I bring my computer? I did bring my computer in here. If anybody wants to know, I am cheating today, okay? We are going great value all the way on the biscuits. I don't feel like making biscuits this morning. And so this is what we're doing. And you guys are just going to hang out with me. It's been a while since we had a breakfast and chat. Do not mind. I'm a slob, okay? So you're just going to have to deal with Slobby Betty, right? So, and then there's my, I don't know if you guys ever do that. I have like a little karaoke machine. You guys see that? Every now and again, I'll blow the pipes out right there. That's the, and then I got some Christmas decorations up in Casa Betty. Not too many, because I'm bah humbug this year. I'm bah humbug this year. Good morning, Reach for the Sky, Melanie. Thank you for the coffee. Did I tell you that last night? I can't remember. I'm so tired. MJ, Outer Banks, it's nice to see you. Riv, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Car Guy, Sasha, Carla, Southern Grammy, Denise, Crystal Pistol, Rebecca, me and you. Karen, it's nice to see you, my love. One Sock, Sasha, Stephanie, Yeda, good morning. Were you the responsible party? Because you're the only one that very rarely ever puts a gift thingy in the box. And I got this little cocoon, this little bear cocoon for my bear, for my baby, for Delilah. And it was on my wish list, and somebody got it, and I don't know who to thank. So I nothing came in. I checked the package and everything, and I also got coffee from Melanie. So in the coffee package from Melanie, it had a little receipt, but the other one it didn't. So I don't know who got Delilah her little cocoon, but thank you. Thank you. All right. So where are we? Sam's Pretty Paranormal. It's nice to see you, Diane. Oh, Patty gifted one Bullhorn Betty membership, and Cat's Meow got it. So don't forget to tell Patty, thank you. I thank you as well. Gigi, Clarence, Panda Bear Mom, Peggy, Patty, P. Jen, it's nice to see you. Mally Cat, good morning, good morning. Mickey Shell, Earth to Ashley, Earth to Andra. No. Hey, guys. Is Delilah in the view? I don't know where she is. Where is Delilah? Delilah, where are you? Oh. I didn't even see you. You're laying on your rug. She's just chilling. She's just chilling this morning. She's in her pretty little blue and pink dress with a blue satin bow. And I know that came from you, though. Dee's Mystery, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Last I sent was the dress. So somebody sent her the little cocoon, and I can't, I don't know who to thank. Unless it was you, Melanie. I'm not sure. So anyways, guys, it's nice to see you. Yes, we are going to be cooking some sausage gravy. From scratch sausage gravy. I'll tell you how I season this up just a little bit. I always sharpen my knives. I don't know. It's just how I was taught. I always sharpen my knives before I ever use it. I don't know why I do that. It's just something I do every single time I use a knife like this. I have a habit of sharpening it before I use it. I don't know why, okay? Don't ask me why. I don't know why. I was just taught to sharpen your damn knife. So, you know what I'm going to say to everybody? Sharpen your knife. I always wipe it off, too, just in case there's any metal and stuff in there. This is all I do for the people that don't want to mess their hands up. You cut in half and squeeze. So that's how I do that. Mess free. And it gets everything out. Mess free. So if you don't know how To open your how to open your sausage. That's how you do it. If you don't want nasty crap all over your hands, and you just give it a good shake. And there you have it. Okay, hands free. Okay, so if you want to get your hands all messy, you can. I don't like crap under my hands. Period. I just don't like it. I used to use hot sausage. But now I like this country sausage. This country sausage really is awfully tasty. And so all I add to my sausage gravy outside of salt and pepper is a little thyme. I don't know why. I just like it. I like a little thyme in my sausage. And it makes it taste really, really scrumptious. And we only put just a little bit in because you don't want it overpowering. All right, we got our thing. We've got our oven preheating for our frozen biscuits. So I'm doing semi-fresh, semi-fake. I call the canned biscuits, the stuff that comes in the can that you crack, I call those fake biscuits because those things are so loaded with chemicals and stuff like that to keep them from, getting disgusting in your tube. So I call it fake biscuits. These I call semi-real biscuits because they're frozen. They have a lot less of that crap in it, but they still have the crap in it. All right, guys. So while I get those things underway, we'll get over here and chat just a little bit. It's nice to see everybody this morning. I didn't realize my morning was getting away from me. I've been working a lot on the... oh, good gracious. JonBenet Ramsey docu. Oh, hey, Angela. It's nice to see you, my love. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. I hope you're doing well. It is, what was it? Oh, yeah, the JonBenet Ramsey case. It's a lot more involved. I've been working on 2 days. And I've got probably about 6 minutes of a 30 to 45 minute documentary done. So I have a funny feeling I'm not going to meet my timeline on Friday, but I'm working really diligently to make it a really nice piece. I'm working very hard to make it a tantalizing and, to keep your attention. You don't want 45 minutes of Mana talking like this. I just want to let you know that JonBenet Ramsey, she was murdered inside of her home on December 26, 1996. Hey, Cheeky Chops, nice to see you. So I'm actually working very, very hard, and I'm not showing anybody any more of it. You guys got that intro. That's going to most likely be the trailer. The intro is going to pretty much be my trailer for it. I might do some little things to add to the trailer, but that's going to be pretty much in part the trailer for the documentary on her. I think I will give you guys some insight before we get into the Alexander brothers. I will give you guys some insight on what I truly believe as I'm watching this stuff and as I'm really honing in on it, and I'm really getting a lot of the facts that I didn't know way back when this case started, is I do believe that there was an intruder in that house. I think Lou Smith, did I bust it? Did I burn it? I got a little split lip. I just noticed it on the camera. I'll be damned. Huh. I hate split lip. It's cold. It's cold here. We woke up. It's like 42 degrees outside. Why I'm making biscuits and gravy. I want something warm. Where's my coffee? Did I just... Jeez, guys, I'm just all over the place. I even have a pot of fresh coffee, or a cup of fresh coffee right here that I forgot about. And so, anyways, this is really what I think happened. And there's two viable suspects, and one is like this cult leader, and this other one is like this homeless guy that has both preying upon young kids in that area at the time. But I don't know. I'm starting to feel like the the event that happened, just bear with me here. Just follow. How many people are very familiar with the JonBenet Ramsey case? If you're not familiar, put a 2 in the chat. If you're familiar, put a 1. Let me gauge my audience so I can find out how much background information you guys need. 1, 1. Okay, so a lot of you guys have a good knowledge of the JonBenet Ramsey case. Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay. So we all know that JonBenet Ramsey went to a party at the okay, Rev. I remember it well. Okay. I hear my sausage. So let me come back over here. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. So JonBenet Ramsey obviously was a beauty pageant. You know, she was in the beauty pageant. She won several beauty pageants. She was, you know, very cute, adorable, right? You know, she kind of has this little, she likes to entertain, right? At such a young age, she likes to entertain. You can clearly tell that hold on. You can clearly tell she really likes doing the stuff that whether you guys agree with the talent shows, the pageants and stuff like that, that's okay. You know, obviously when you have a child that really enjoys doing things, you want to help them along the way. You never know where it's going to lead, such as singing, dancing, all that other stuff. This was kind of a combination of a lot of stuff, and she seemed to really enjoy it. Okay, just my personal opinion. She seemed to really want to do the pageants. And she was very good. She was cute. She really captivated an audience because she was so beautiful. She you know, would dance, would sing and stuff like that. Okay, so back on December 22nd, they had this mall, and in the mall, she was the one that was dancing and singing, really cute, probably brought a lot of the audience with them, okay? Now, her house was gorgeous. Her mother really went all out for Christmases. And so they actually had people walking through their home to show off, you know, the Christmas spirit and stuff like that. And they had up to 1,500 to 2,000 people come through their home in the next 2 days thereafter. So this is kind of where I'm going with this whole story. Now, I could be way off base here. This is just from my experience that I have been, you know, in this stuff. So I really think somebody saw her at that mall. They would have been unsuspecting. You know, they would have probably, you know, danced and did whatever they were going to do in the mall. And then when they were leaving, somebody probably saw them leave. Somebody could have followed them home, because on the 23rd, they had a children's party at the house there on 15th, okay, which is the Ramsey home. They had the kids there, you know, some of the parents. Obviously, there was some alcohol, because we've heard all these years that it sounded like a drunk party goer may have called 911. I really don't think that was the case. I think they followed them home and realized there was a lot of people at the home. And so I think really on the 23rd, while everybody was there, and it wasn't, if somebody's walking around the house, it really wouldn't have caught anybody's attention because they're throwing a party. I think that the 23rd was a dry run. And not only a dry run, I really truly do believe that the person, the assailant, is the one that made the 911 call. And I think that the assailant made the 911 call to see what would happen, how long it would take law enforcement to get there, or if law enforcement would call back. So it's all still leaning toward a third party, not the mom and the father. And in part, I either believe that this person was, there's several theories I do have. And one is the mall, and somebody following them home and having certain opportunities while they were watching them, you know, casing the joint, so to speak. And I think the first opportunity was the 23rd when they had this Christmas party. Now, it sounds like whoever was in there knew where everything was. And I think it's because it could have been one of the people that walked through the house of that 1,500 to 2,000 people. So they got a good lay of the land. They knew exactly which room would have been hers because it would have been the one that looks like a little girl's room, right? She had only a brother and a mom and dad, so everybody would have known what mom and dad looked like, what their room would have looked like, and what the boys' room would have looked like versus the girls' room. Now, they did have a spare bedroom, but I truly believe that the 22nd and the 23rd are very important dates in this saga. Now, by the 26th, obviously 25th, I think that they knew they were at the Whites. They were either at the Whites. Listen, I'm even in all fairness, I'm eyeballing the Whites as well, to be honest with you. I'm pretty sure at this point the Whites have had their DNA tested and have been excluded. But in this aspect of it, I am looking at the Whites because I feel like there is a possibility of a person being very close to the Ramseys that would have done this. And the reason why I say that is because somebody knew the layout of their home. They knew exactly what his bonus was. And that sounds like a conversation that his wife would have been bragging out at maybe recital sessions. Or that somebody close, like a really good friend, like the Whites, they've stood by their side this entire time, would have known because they're basically BFFs of the Ramseys. And they would have had access, and if they were doing all this the night before, then they would have already been there. Nobody would have thought anything of it on the 23rd, them moving around the house or looking at access point or the man. We hear it's a male DNA on John Bonet, an unidentified male DNA. So I either believe it's somebody very, very close or somebody that went to that house for either the children's party or to walk through it when they were opening it up to the public. So, all right. So this is my sausage so far, right? So now I do a couple things. I add some butter in it. Add some butter, probably, I don't know. I just eyeball it about that much. I don't know if you guys can see. I don't know, it's about a tablespoon, a little more than tablespoon. That's all I really put in it because it's got juice from its doohickey. Use one of these. And I use flour. I didn't sift any flour this morning, so I'm hoping I have enough for about at least a quarter cup. It looks like I might just have enough in the bucket. Oops. For at least a quarter cup. So you really want this out of here. You want at least about a quarter cup. I think it's probably going to take the rest of this, honestly. A quarter cup of flour. There we go. I think that's about a quarter cup. I've got to sift some more flour. So this is what it looks like. Okay, and you just kind of mix it in until it's all incorporated pretty well. And like a paste on top of your sausage. All right, I got to go grab some milk, so you guys are going to have to bear with me until I get back. Because you don't want it burning. And we need about 2 cups. A little more than 2 cups. So that's about it, the rest of my... So that's about what we need. And then we just pour it in there. And now it's getting a little sticky on the bottom. I'm going to show you guys this. For those that don't know how to make, this is the simplest freaking recipe. And it's so delicious. So you can see it's kind of sticky. That's where you want it. And then you just pour your milk on in. That's all you do. And then you just stir it, you incorporate it really good, and then you just kind of let it do its own thing. You let it come to like a little simmer and start thickening up, but you want to whisk consistently throughout the process so it doesn't get sticky on the bottom of your pan. I love using cast iron for my biscuits and gravy. It's one of the pans. I will not use another pan other than a cast iron skillet for my biscuits and gravy. It's a seasoned skillet. I love my skillet, and I love my skillet gravy. I love skillet gravy. So that's why I'm using a cast iron skillet. So we're going to let that come up, and we got about 6 minutes on the biscuits. And so that should start thickening up a little bit, and then we'll have, we'll add a little bit of salt and pepper. Now would be a great time for you to add some thyme. If you want to use thyme, you don't have to. I just personally like the extra flavor of thyme. So I use a thyme. This is the Gourmet Collection from Cormick. I don't know, I put about that much in there. And I just, you know, just sprinkle it around. I don't stick it in one spot. I just kind of sprinkle it all over. I don't know why I got into this whole thyme thing, but it makes it taste a little more scrumptious. I'm sorry, it just does. I don't know if anybody in my chat is a cook. I don't know if you've ever used thyme in your gravy, but I don't know. It makes it, to me, it just makes it pop. And then I just put about, I don't know, a little bit, a few grinds of salt, a few grinds of pepper, and then I just kind of, that's it. Mix it all up and let it do its thing. So we'll just be consistently stirring it. I like to let it boil just a little bit because it helps it get a little thick, you know, start thickening up on the bottom a little bit. But, and then maybe I'll let you guys walk next door to me to Glenn's. All right, so let's get back to what we're here for. We got two major cases here, but I do think that we need to be focusing, you know, when it comes, sorry. I don't know why I have all those cups anymore. It's just me. I could probably downsize a lot, like plates. It's just one of those things. It's like you have your pots and pans you never ever use. Like I have this huge pot, you know, pan, and it's got walls up on it this high, huge. I never use it. But you know what? When I need it, it's there. Come here. Oh, you want to say hi to everybody? You want to say hi? Say hi, everybody. I'm Delilah. I'm the crime-fighting doggy. I love my mommy. She's so good to me. And I want to say thank you to everybody that bought me my dresses and my little cocoon. I'm not quite sure how I feel about the cocoon yet. Mommy's been sticking stuff in there and making me go in there and get them so I can get used to it. But I don't know how I like it just yet. Well, hello, Mr. Seth. I hope you're doing well, my love. There she is. Aww. Aww. Ooh, that does look delicious, Yeda. That looks very delicious. There she is. Oh, and that reminds me, Yeda, that's one of your dresses you bought for Delilah. There she is. Say hi. She's so cute. Isn't she just so cute? She sees me cooking, so she's staying right by my side. She wants some sausage gravy. She loves some sausage gravy now. All right, so before we get started, let me go over this case because I think it goes into a lot of the stuff that we've been talking about, especially with, you know, P. Diddy, and of course you're hearing some stuff coming out about Jay-Z. And before this, we knew the lifestyle of the rich and famous was definitely a lot different than the lifestyle that we, as just normal Joes, live and are accustomed to. You know, they are jet setters, they have properties in different states, different countries. And this is about three brothers that are also tycoons, real estate tycoons, but they were born into a wealthy family anyways. And so there were some lawsuits. I don't know where these lawsuits started coming out from. This is the first I'm hearing about it. And this stuff even has connections to Miami, Florida. The brothers, we have telegenic twin brothers. I'm like, what the hell is a telegenic twin? And it's basically photogenic. So they're good-looking men, okay? I guess is what it rolls down to. They're good-looking guys. They're telegenic twins, Oren and Alon Alexander, along with their older brother Tal, or Tal. I think it's Tal. And they have been subject to several lawsuits over the years, but now they are arrested. And apparently this is a big thing that they have over 30 victims. 30 victims. And let me check on the biscuits. Not quite done yet. Let me add a couple more minutes to that. There we go, while we get our gravy done. They apparently were gang-R-ing these women. They would write them and have them come to like barbecues and stuff like that and tell that they are a barbecue. Well, behind the scenes, they're in group chats talking about what they're planning on doing with some of these women and doing, you know, things like trains and stuff like that. Very, you know, but in all fairness, it seems to me they're equating, you know, that kind of lifestyle with R. And I can tell you personally, people will do that kind of stuff and it's not R. So because they're making such a play on words, basically saying that a train is R, it's making me kind of say, wait a minute, is that what they're standing on? Because that's going to be hard for me to think that they're going to prove, you know, because there are people, there are clubs, there are, you know, swingers, there are all types of people with different types of appetites out there. And when you're younger, you hear about these types of things going on. You hear about these types of things going on, but it didn't seem like, it seemed like everybody were willing participants, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm hoping that this is not a ploy because they have multi-million dollars, that this is not a ploy to extract money when there are willing participants. And that's what I get always, as you can imagine, always concerned when I start hearing these stories. Now, do I agree with the lifestyle? It has nothing to do whether I agree with the lifestyle. Of course, I really don't. I think people need to value their bodies and value the acts a little more. Just my personal opinion, but you know, that's not everybody's opinion. That's just mine. And people are in charge of their own bodies and stuff. So these things, of course, allegations, a lot of these allegations happened many years ago, even some of them dating back to when these boys were in high school. And high school's a little weird area. Do I believe that these guys did something? My answer is yes. I do believe that these guys have used their wealth and who they are as people to do stuff. I do believe that they did, in fact, drug their victims. But I'm also looking at it from a point of defense. Can this stuff be explained away? And the answer is some of it can. Even with the nastiness of those group chats, you know, the nastiness of the group chats, how kind of disgusting they were when they were explaining what they were going to be doing and stuff like that. I get it. But even that, some of these people, I'm sure we're going to find out, may have been paid entertainment. And part of their pay may have been due to being a consenting adult. You know, we're going to use the lingo that gets these people, you know, what they'll say to like a police officer or a judge, you know. Yeah, we paid them to dance, but, you know, things kind of got out of, that was a willing, we had already paid. We never paid any extra for that, you know. Some of those things are actually in the payment previously, you know. So I don't know. I feel like there's going to, and especially the wealth of these guys, they're going to be able to put on a very good, oops, I don't want to burn my biscuits, a very good defense. Biscuits, yum, 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 to my tum-tum-tum. Yum, 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 to my tum-tum-tum. And the gravy is almost done. Just got to get it a little bit thicker. And guys, I just put that little bit of salt, some thyme in it, just milk. Okay. Oops, sorry. And it's almost done. It's almost done. The easiest freaking thing. There's no reason why you guys shouldn't have some of the best biscuits and gravy in the house, because it literally is one of the most simplest meals that you can make. It's just very limited ingredients, which is good. Very limited chemicals, except what's in the sausage to preserve the sausage. And usually when you're dealing with sausage, they use salt as a preservative in most cases, but they do put some other kind of stabilizers in there when it's packaged. So that's the only bad thing about that. But this is just milk, flour, and butter. Salt, pepper, and a little bit of thyme. I mean, all natural. I wouldn't say it's healthy. It's biscuits and gravy, so it's starch, but it's not chemicals, right? It's not a whole bunch of chemicals in your body, so your body will process this food a little bit better than say a can of biscuits and gravy. Okay, just let you guys know. Okay, so let me get back over here. I'll read you now that I got all that stuff done, and we're just gonna let it cool before I plate it. Let me just read this to you so you guys get an idea of what really happened, because I do believe the victims. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I don't believe the victims. I'm just trying to explain that there's going to be more to this than that. Drugged and unable to escape. ST charges rock celebrity estate clan. Let's see what that's the FBI leaving. I could care less whether frickin' whatever his name is, leaves the FBI. He was horrible. So 3 brothers in a celebrity real estate family were charged with ST conspiracy in a case involving dozens of victims from Miami Beach to New York, prosecutors said Wednesday. Twin Oren and Alon Alexander and their elder brother Tal, I don't know how to, my hooked on phonics is broken, were charged with working together to repeatedly and violently drug and SA and R dozens of victims, according to a federal indictment filed in New York. They were arrested Wednesday in Miami. The charges come in the wake of a string of lawsuits accusing the brothers of R and SA. Damian Williams, the U.S. attorney in Manhattan, said all 3 brothers had used force, threats of force, fraud, and coercion in SAing women for more than a decade. More than a decade. This conduct is alleged and is heinous, Williams told reporters. Some of the victims who were drugged found themselves unable to speak, to move, leaving them unable to escape, were left with partial memories of the assault, Williams said, which, you know, hey, I am Team Summer. It's nice to see you. My mod squad, Sonia, I see you guys all here. Nice to see you guys this morning. Hugs and kisses. Hugs and kisses. But this, you know, the vagueness of their memories do go in line with substance. So were those substances, this is another part that the defense attorney is going to be hitting on, were those substances willingly or unwillingly ingested? Because let's face it, some people that are in entertainment like to party and may ingest something without fully understanding what they're ingesting willingly. Sounds like what Diddy did. Hey, it might be the playbook of the rich and famous. I mean, we don't know. Might be the playbook of the rich and famous. We know there's a lot of nastiness. That's why I tell people, don't be idolizing these people. Don't be idolizing these people at all, because you want to talk about hot mess to express. I've never met a normal well, I shouldn't say that. I have met a normal rich person, but rich people, especially in the celebrity lifestyle, are some of the most unstable people I have ever met in my life. Totally, I stand behind that. Some of them are normal, but you don't get people like Goldie Hawn and whatever his name, Russell, you know? You don't get those types of people out of Hollywood much anymore. You get crazy people. So Oren and Alon were also facing separate S battery charges in Miami Beach, according to the arrest warrant made public Wednesday afternoon. Oren Alexander is innocent, his lawyer Susan Nichelis told USA Today. The evidence will show that neither he nor his brothers ever committed a crime. With their type of wealth, this is going to be a battle, and I'm telling you, a battle. I hope this federal have more than just. I think the collective witness statements, because they're talking about almost or over 30 victims, that's going to show a huge behavioral pattern. Lawyers for Tal and Alon Alexander could not be immediately reached for comment Wednesday. The civil lawsuit against the Alexander brothers, telegenic twin Oren and Alon, and their elder brother Tal, have been subject to several lawsuits by women alleging that they were raped and possibly drugged. Until news broke of the SA allegations, Oren and Alon Alexander were fixtures of the jet set, attending glitzy parties in Miami, New York, and partying in the Mediterranean. Oren and Tal Alexander run the Alexander team, which boasts of brokering sales worth more than $7 billion in luxury markets, including New York, South Florida, and Aspen, Colorado. We are glad to hear that there will finally be some measure of accountability for the Alexander brothers, the justice for their many victims. The law firm Wigdor LLP, which represents. That was weird. I don't know what happened. I really don't know what happened. That was weird. I've never seen my face just go completely out before. Can you guys see me? Hey guys. Are we still rolling? Hey Top Hat, nice to see you. My whole phone just went blank. We glitched. I see you. Okay, perfect. So we applaud all survivors who have had strength and courage to speak up about their unimaginable experience for years of pain and suffering. Witness spoke of gang Rs. In a memo asking a federal judge to deny bail, prosecutors wrote that witnesses and victims told investigators that Alexanders had been R-ing women since they were in high school. This is where it kind of says, if they're hanging their hat on this, I don't see where they're going to be able to prove R unless something else they can prove, because evidence from investigation includes multiple victims, and witness accounts show that the Alexander brothers began engaging in acts of violence, including gang Rs, while still in high school in Miami, Florida, the memo says. Each of the victims that the government has interviewed from the period reported hearing individuals involved, including Tal, talked about assaults at school, boasting that they were about running train on their next victim. I'm sorry, I was in high school and I heard about things like this, and it seemed like the girl was okay with a lot of it. So I'm sorry. I'm a little, they've got to come up with a little more than him boasting about running a train, because, I'm just saying. I'll leave it at that. You guys make from your own experiences in high school and everything like that. I'm sorry, but if that's what they're holding their hat on as being the, the S violence, and they even further write, this is where I have the problem. It says, New York Magazine cited witnesses in August article who said the brothers often spoke of running a train, which is a slang for act of gang R. I don't think that's a slang for act of gang R. That's a slang for multiple people, you know, engaging in, you know, and sorry, but we know that there is a level of people that have the appetite for things like that. I'm sorry, we know that. We've talked about it in the Gilgo Beach, you know, serial killer story. I've heard about running a train too, but it's usually unwilling young women. I've never heard, this is the first time that I heard train being used of unwilling young women. I have, all through my high school, I have never referred or heard it being referred to that. I just never heard it. So I'm just telling you what, you guys take it for what you will. I've heard the term. I mean, I'm from Florida, so, you know, we have a lot of freaky people here. I don't know how to explain it. And I've heard the terminology before, and I got to be honest with you, it had no affiliation with R. People have weird appetites, that's all I'm going to say. I'm not saying that's the case here. I'm just saying if that's what they refer to gang R is running a train, they're going to be sorely mistaken when they get into court that that's not going to hold water. It's just not. In a senior year, the Michael M. Kropp Senior High School in Miami, North Miami, Oren and Alon Alexander's yearbook included pages with questions. What was your most memorable moment at Kropp? According to New York Magazine, Oren replied, riding my first choo-choo train. Young kids, I'm sorry, but I was in high school and the girls were willing participants. I just saying. Okay, I went to school in the 90s. I graduated in 91. I graduated in 96. So, you know, I'm just saying. You know, we came from the Sea World where they were throwing a bunch of people in jail for selling, you know, crap on the corner and stuff like that. It was part of the, I don't know. It's a touchy subject. I'm just telling you guys my personal opinion. You make your own personal opinion. 11 years later, Tal, Oren, and Alon Alexander planned a 2016 trip to Tulum. Did I say that right? Tulum, Mexico. T-U-L-U-M. Tulum, Mexico, maybe? With a male friend. Women flown in for entertainment and drugs, including GHB, considered the date R drug. Under federal law, the term appeared again in a group chat. So it sounds like they were planning on drugging these. This is why I do believe them. I'm just saying that you got to talk about all the positives in their statements as well as the negatives in their statements. I don't want anyone being upset if they do not run a 10-man train. So it sounds like they're in this group chat talking about these trysts, and they're making a lot of promises to the people in those chats, and I think that they are, in fact, R-ing these women. And you got to think in these types of lifestyles and flying entertainment in, you're talking about, you know, probably the most beautiful of the beautiful women. You know, they probably, in some cases, care about, you know, they're there for work, not this. In affidavits, Miami Beach detectives accused Alon Alexander in October 2021 Group SA of a woman lured to a luxury apartment in Miami Beach. Beach's beachfront, Collins Avenue, under the pretext of attending a barbecue. Oren Alexander also joined the assault. The victim told Miami Beach Police Department, or Detective David Alvarez, an Alexander cousin, Orhad Fisherman, is at large, Dade County prosecutors say. More than 30 women have alleged they were R-ed by Oren Alexander, Alon Alexander, or both brothers, according to the lawsuit filed by model Angelica Parker. Parker charged that she was AR'd by Alon and Tal Alexander in 2012 while their brother Oren watched. They denied the allegation. In a letter to the U.S. District Judge Valerie Caparoni, prosecutors asked that the three brothers be held without bail, citing the nature of the crimes they were accused of, their wealth, and close connections to Israel, where extradition to the U.S. can be a drawn-out process. After relying on their substantial wealth and connections to carry out and conceal their crimes for years, all three defendants now face charges carrying potential sentences in prison of 15 years to life. If you are rich, you are no longer able to get away with these types of crimes anymore. The country is frowning upon it. You know, people have a right to. Let me get some plates. People have, you know, rights to. That's hot. To be prosecuted now. You can't buy your way out of prosecution anymore. Once upon a time, you might have been able to buy your way out of prosecution, but not this day and age. There's a lot of people wanting the playing field to be equal. And with all of this stuff, with people thinking that people are property and they can just do whatever the hell they want, you know, this, especially with the rich, I think this is a problem with the rich. I mean, part of all the ST, in my opinion, that we're seeing are the appetites of people that have the money to pay for it, right? To pay for it. So we don't want this in our country. I'm sorry. If it's consensual, that's one thing. And like I said, there are people that have these types of appetites, right? They have these type of appetites for I'm trying to be careful. I'm sorry, guys. I'm usually not so bashful. I am a prude when it comes to stuff like this. I really am. I'm a prude. So it's kind of a little hard for me to talk about this stuff. You know, when it comes to this, but I do, you know, it's not like I live under a rock. I know that people have different types of proclivities. You know, even women. So, no, I'm telling you, that fennel, that thyme. There's something about putting thyme in the gravy. Oh my gosh, it tastes so much better. It tastes so much better. Now this is a good biscuit and gravy. That is so good. That is so good. Try it. You don't need a whole lot, just a little bit. It just makes it so much more scrumptious. It doesn't really change the biscuits and gravy. It just makes it taste more scrumptious. I don't know what does it. I don't know. Just it makes you crave. I don't know. All right, do what you will. I still got to take a plate over to Glenn. So now that we're done with that, I'm going to be monitoring that because I'm interested in finding out a little more about, you know, they're in my state. It's you know, they're from Miami. I think they were arrested in Miami. They have ties to Israel. They're huge tycoons that sell mega properties all over Florida, New York, and Colorado, Aspen, Colorado. So I'm interested, and it looks like a model filed a suit against them, which is interesting because she was probably abused until she got her name, and then when she got her name, she wanted justice, you know, because nobody would listen to her because she was under them. which is sad. So, what? I forgot to get you. I'm sorry. Mommy's bad. Let me get you some. Let me get you some. Delilah's licking her chops at me, so let me just get her a little bit of sausage gravy. All right, here you go. Give her a little bit of sausage gravy. Make her feel like she... There you go. She's gonna eat it up, too. She doesn't like the biscuits, but she likes the gravy. And it's delicious. All right. So let's move on to Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. We don't really have a whole lot of updates on him. You know, as far as where everything is at. I was looking through trying to see if anybody had any updates. I mean, the only thing that we have that it was worth talking about, in all fairness, was the response from CB, which we did yesterday, which is ridiculous. It's like you guys can't... This is what really just drives me nuts. It's like you'd rather sit there argue 5 minutes as to why you can't say happy birthday Sebastian, never saying happy birthday Sebastian, and saying that it's going to be taken out of context and pulled out. What do you think that whole response was going to do? If somebody was going to pull my response apart, I would rather it be about saying his name versus arguing about saying his name. Makes no damn sense. These people are idiots. They don't think things through. They don't think things through, and that's the problem. That's what's probably going to jam them up, because nobody's stupid. Something happened to that kid under the mom and stepfather's watch, period. Just like every other thing that's ever happened to that kid negatively has happened under their watch. And they're trying to say, oh my God, you guys are so off base. Well, prove it. Prove it, right? We've given them every opportunity to prove it. I mean, how many interviews have they done? They kept saying, we want the tough questions. We want the tough questions. When the tough questions came in, they would insult you. Like, how dare you ask me that? Like, what does that have to do with Sebastian? No, it has to do with you and our opinion of you to find out if you have what it takes to do something to Sebastian. And they didn't like that. But they kept going on and kept going on and kept going on. And they put themselves out into the public spotlight. Nobody did that for them. They did that all by themselves. I gave you biscuit gravy. No, I'm eating. You're gonna have to eat your own gravy. I know it tastes better when it comes off my plate. Quit looking at it. It's the same stuff as on your plate. I'm not being mean to you. Here, I got you some right here. Here, this is yours. Right here. That's yours. It's the same stuff Mommy's got. What, you want to taste what I've got? Would that make you feel better? All right. She's begging me for my food, and she's got her own. And it's the same stuff, minus the biscuit. But she doesn't ever eat the biscuit. So, what's the point in putting the biscuit there? So now we kind of fast forward, and we know something's not right. We know that he's either here or not here. You know, there's not really, it's either one or the other. And either way, no matter how you look at it, they would have been responsible one way or the other. You see what I'm saying? If they moved him and did a custody thing, it's them. If she lost her shit and did something that way, again, it's them. Either way you look at it, I don't see how they come out unscathed. Whether it's a full disappearance or just for custody purposes. I gave you some. Now she's whimpering. I agree, Pebbles. Which time are you asking about? CP speaking. Maybe I can help. Let me see what it says here. Oh, it was on a Facebook group, and then those screenshots were captured and passed around to all the Facebook groups, and it wound up on my Facebook group. That's where it's at. So you can actually go and scroll through Justice for Sebastian Rogers, and you should see the screenshots of CB. I didn't see them. That's where I saw them. Justice, they're on my account because I saw them there. I think last evening, or I didn't know where they came from. Somebody actually emailed me the screenshots, and then I was scrolling through the chat on Facebook and realized that somebody had actually made a post. So there you have it. Betty's group, is that the only group I'm in? Only people I trust? Yeah. Well, there's the Find Sebastian Rogers group as well, and I like their group. Their group is Seth friendly and focused on bringing Sebastian home, focused on Seth's goal of bringing Sebastian home. So I always post to my group and their group because I like their group that much. Those marks are definitely marks, I believe, from Sebastian. Well, exactly, Diana. Think about it. Like, what are we always looking for when we feel a crime may have occurred, right? We're looking at motive, means, and opportunity. We're looking at who was the last person that actually physically saw that person alive. And we're wondering if anybody in and around him have any type of marking on them, evidence of a struggle, evidence of something not being right. You know what I'm saying? And in this particular situation, it's like he was last seen with his mother, and his stepfathers have clear injuries on him, you know? And what was the motive, meaning, and opportunity? We didn't know about it when he first disappeared, but now we know that this child has not been wanted by that family since October of 2022. That's a huge motive. Did they have means and opportunity? You bet your ass. So, you know, no matter how you look at it, this hits a little close to home because who else could it be? You're not dealing with somebody breaking into the home and snatching him out of his bed. He's a 15-year-old kid, you know? If somebody did come in the home, somebody would have heard. He would have flipped out. He would have been, if somebody came into that home and tried to take him and he didn't know what was going on, he would flip out just because of his condition. He would have most likely an absolute meltdown. He might be so shocked. He might not even be able to move. Never mind the fact that electronic locks in homes have a noise. Mine does. If I hit the lock on it, it doesn't have the battery in. I've been using the key portion of mine for a while because I'm too lazy to reset it. I don't even remember the code I put on it. But it was very noticeable when it locked and when it unlocked because it has a little motor in there that's got to lock it and unlock it. And those motors are typically not quiet. Hey, Angelina. No signs of forced entry, Callie Girl reminds us. Exactly. And why would a mom lie about forced entry if there was forced entry? So in order for him to have been removed by a third party, that third party would have had to have been let into the home. Let's not forget that. If he was removed by a third party, the third party would have had to been let inside the home by somebody from inside the home. And we kept pushing that he walked out the door. Exactly. What about the dent in the garage? I need to be honest with you. I never paid attention to that because that could have happened at any time. It could have happened at any time. To me, it clearly looked like somebody backed into the garage, either from the outside or the inside. I live in Florida. A lot of people here in my community have garages, and a lot of their garage doors have dents. Just saying. You know, could it be used? If the dent was there 1 minute, or not there 1 minute, and was there the next day after he disappeared, yeah, it would be something that I would say we might want to look into, right? But if it was there weeks, months, you know, a year before this incident, it has nothing to do with this incident. It's something that we need to keep in the back of our mind in case we hear something. But as the way it sits right now, it doesn't explain anything to me. Even if it was there, you know, it looks like a car bumper. Is it possible both Cape and C planned all of this? Is it possible that C watched this? I felt like somebody washed their hand with a retaining pond. I'm kind of on the same theory that you are, Diana, that somebody either cleaned their boots, their feet, their hands, pulled over there and cleaned something off, right? And probably maybe washed their hands or got something off their shoes and threw it into the dumpster. And that's why there was a hit at the water as well as the dumpster. Possibly. I got no, you know, just trying to explain some of that, but we don't have any concrete evidence whether that's true or that holds water either. So, yeah, I do believe something happened. Somebody from Sebastian's house. Somebody from Sebastian's house was there by the retaining pond. That's what I believe. Maybe the third party was given the house key the night before in the Texas Roadhouse parking lot. Yes. There was something that we heard was handed off. Appeared to be handed off. I didn't quite see that, but I did see the hands talking. But I don't know what that's all about. I think until we find out a little more information, of course we want to look for the green hoodie person. And I think that this is big enough about the green hoodie that it's surprising that somebody from their community hasn't come out and said it was them yet. You know? It seems like somebody would want to say, look, you guys are barking up the wrong tree. You know? I've been there. I go there every week. I just happened to see her out in the parking lot with her son because I see her here every other day. And I just wanted to say hi. In my opinion, FBI needs to investigate the house and do forensics. Do you think law enforcement knows who the green hoodie is? Honestly, I don't know. I really don't. I feel like if law enforcement knew who the green hoodie is, then it should be easy for Nick the Hat to identify the person because they would have most likely said, hey, I've already talked to law enforcement. I had nothing to do with this. They've cleared me. Just, why are you passing around my photo? You know, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Not that, like, I'm hoping that all of this is innocently explained away, and why I'm not harping too much on the green hoodie, because I figured at this point, if the green hoodie was going to come forward, they would have come forward. Which bothers me a little bit that nobody's came forward that I've heard of yet. My sister in Nashville is fighting for her life too. She was put on hospice yesterday. I'm heading out Sunday to be with her. Her fight has been long and hard. Please, all prayers. Aw, Stephanie, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry to hear that, Stephanie. Absolutely. We're going to say a prayer for you. We'll put you on our prayer chain. Everybody that does prayer, you know, make sure that you include Stephanie. She's been a valued member of our family here on the Bullhorn Betty channel for quite some time. And I didn't know your sister was ill, and I'm sure you probably chatted about it, but I don't really see the chat very much. And every now and again I peek down, so I'm really sorry. And a big virtual hug from our family to yours. So if you need anything, you can reach out to me, you know, by email, and I'll give you my number if you need something or need some help or some guidance or whatever. You know, maybe just a shoulder to cry on, or things getting a little rough, you can always call. We'll definitely be praying for you and your family. Green hoodie, someone should know that walking from Green was odd. I think it was payday with him, in my opinion, or gave him phone, or both. I don't think anyone needs the key. The PFs probably have the code for the home. Well, that's it. You know, they could have just went through the code. Unless they needed them to get a door that wasn't on camera. It wasn't on camera. I know somebody said, you know, early on that they believe Katie was having a, you know what, and I asked as many people as I could. Nobody saw anybody showing up at their house in that kind of fashion, and they even blamed one of the neighbors, which was crazy. I never thought. You know, I follow the leads. I don't sit and play the blame game until I have a little more in my pocket where I can call somebody out and challenge them, right? I'm not doing it on a hypothetical. And makes you wonder if the person already did have a key and maybe had a way of sneaking in undetected, like through a common area that they've done a million times and undetected. Possibility. That's a possibility. So just be there, make it peaceful. Yeah. I came in late and had to feed the chickens. Did you discuss the message from One World Media? I think was last night. I didn't see a message from last night. I went and checked it. I still might have it up. I checked everything this morning because I even said at night. Are you talking about the Lore Lodge one? When Sumner County Sheriff's Department was asked if Christopher Proudfoot had friends within the agency, he replied he is not friends with the sheriff. And that's not what he asked. That's not what Lore Lodge asked. I mean, he's very specific on his words, and so is law enforcement. So the answer is, and we do know, yes, he has friends in the Sheriff's Department. One's Lisa Byington, detective, does a lot of high-profile cases, and willing to lie under oath. So we definitely know we have one. I don't know about the others. I don't know how many others he has friends with, but his whole entire family People from his family are political as well as in law enforcement or construction. Oh, thank you, Angelina. God bless you. God bless you. So, yeah. I remember watching that from the Lore Lodge. I like him. I didn't know how I'd like the Lore Lodge. I mean, he's got a good following, but he does a lot of cold cases. He doesn't really do a whole lot of active cases, so I didn't really know about him up until the Sebastian Rogers, because if you know anything about us, we do a lot of active cases, not so many cold cases. And so hearing him talk about it and hearing him come up with a lot of the same stuff that we came up with, it made me feel good, because he's got 500,000 subscribers or more on his channel. And to know that we're analyzing stuff to that level it made me feel a little good, you know? Lisa Byington is a joke, and that's in my opinion. We'll accept it. We'll accept it. We'll accept it. So, yeah, that's the situation. But yeah, I do believe they absolutely have friends in the sheriff's office, and boy, what a conflict of interest that is going to be. And I can guarantee whatever they've done on the Proudfoot's behalf is going to bite them right in their ass. And it should, because we expect law enforcement to be, and justice to be blind, not who knows who, and the attaboys that come along with it. Hey, Gypsy, it's nice to see you. I got the live scheduled. I have to finish the itinerary, which I'll do after I feed the neighbor, and I'll get that sent over to you for tonight at 6:30 Eastern, 5:30 Central Standard. So, guys, don't forget tonight, if you guys haven't, go to my channel. Get a reminder, 6:30 tonight, Eastern Standard Time. 6:30 tonight, Eastern Standard Time. We're going to take a little moment and have a chat with a fellow friend, a fellow content creator, and just get to know Gypsy like I have gotten to know Gypsy. So it's going to be interesting. I can't wait to have the conversation. It'll be fun. You guys don't just have to listen to me. Which is good for you, Sandy. I think the Cyrus family asked Lore Lodge to look into the Sebastian case. Yeah, I think they've got hooked up. I don't know how, but this case has resonated with them. Without a doubt, has resonated with them. And I'm glad to see them taking an interest, or somebody that has the means taking an interest in the case and helping solve the case, you know. It's kind of, it's really sweet. You know, it's really sweet. And I'm glad they took an interest of all the cases. They took an interest in Sebastian Rogers. So, all right, guys, I got to go feed my neighbor. I can tell that the biscuits are going to be getting cold. He's going to have to warm it up. So, I love you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me, making biscuits and gravy, talking true crime with me. I've got a lot of work. I'm still working on the JonBenet Ramsey documentary. It's turning out really, really good. Okay? Really, really good. It's just taking a long time to get that editing up there. So I'm really excited. I can't wait to present it. But it's going to be, I'm not going to hit my deadline of tomorrow. So it looks like it might be a week from tomorrow that I could have it done, but it's going to be a 30 to 45 minute documentary, a real documentary of the case. It just takes a lot. It takes a lot more than you know. I can tell you that, because a lot of the stuff is, there's no sound, you got blank footage, and you've got to bring the footage to life. And sometimes it can be very challenging. So I'm trying to bring the footage that I have to life. So Patsy Ramsey was a lovely lady. She doted on JonBenet. Yeah, she did. I feel so bad for them, because it was the Boulder, Colorado Police Department leaking information that made them public enemy number one. And even when a well-to-do and well-credentialed homicide investigator that has solved almost 200 cases, he was a he was a star in Colorado for his work, and he had a 90% close rate on his murder convictions. 90%. That is high. That is a good detective. And he comes in and tells them that they're wrong with their theory, and instead of embracing it, they try to lynch him, you know, not literally, politically and reputationally lynch him. And because Boulder, Colorado knew it was the parents and would not entertain anything other than it being the parents. And this case has been cold for 30 years because they chose to have a pissing contest with everybody. Shame on Boulder, Colorado Police Department. And shame on them now for still standing in the way. They made mistakes. And now that social media is here, we're going to, I got to be honest with you. I almost want to go out to Colorado. I almost want to protest the Boulder, Colorado Police Department. You know, I do. I almost want to tell them, quit obstructing your own case any further. It's been 30 years. We want this case solved. JonBenet Ramsey's family deserves to have this case solved. Her mother went to the grave without knowing who killed her daughter. You know, I get so angry when law enforcement does crap like this. You know, I do back the blue. But trust me, backing the blue means being honest, right? We want good law enforcement, good policing. Backing the blue doesn't tell me that I have to go and pat and give law enforcement an attaboy when they don't deserve an attaboy. You know, backing the blue is being honest and being transparent and saying, hey, if something stinks, it stinks. And I don't really care if you're wearing a badge or not. What they have done to this case is disgusting, and something has got to be done about it, right? John has been begging for 3 decades, and nothing has happened. I don't think they've ever had a protest. After 30 years, I think it's time for a damn protest. I'm just saying. What happened to his daughter should never happen to anybody else. And I feel like that we've already repeated some history in the Sebastian Rogers case, but I don't want to diminish the work that's been done to Sebastian's case, especially in light of Seth having renewed faith in law enforcement. I want to, even though I have my bone to pick with them, I want to be encouraging to law enforcement working on Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case. Even if mistakes were made up front, you know, those things can be hopefully resolved and fixed in time. I hope that they just continue to stay focused and follow the leads where they go, because I feel like if they follow the leads where they go, they're going to be knocking right on a freaking front door. Because I gotta tell you, it took everything I had in me not to knock on that front door, but I chose to post my flyers and chose to get a lay of the land prior, you know, before I did anything. I was never planning on speaking to these people. As a matter of fact, I think on many of my lives, I even said publicly, I don't have any use to speak with these people. They're speaking enough on everybody else's channel. I don't need to speak with them. But I'm still looking into the case, and I still am following the leads that I found where they go. And they're right there in Sumner County. Just saying. I agree. I meant they caused Patsy and her grave by stress. Yeah, because she had cancer, and stress does not help with cancer very well. You need to keep up your strength. You need to have, do really good. Try to really relax and get your body more on alkaline type of, I think that's right, level. So I think it did. But I do think we have to look, which is kind of ironic, because I've been talking about JonBenet Ramsey in this case, not even knowing that Netflix was about to drop a JonBenet Ramsey show. It just, it just seems so fitting when you look at mistakes being made and why certain policies and procedures are in play. And then when I realized that there was more going on with the John Benet Ramsey and the new documentary dropped by Netflix, I was like, I really want to look into this case. Nobody's really looked into it. But so far I've got I got 4 different theories going on. My 4 theories in the John Benet Ramsey case that I have, honestly, is that another pageant mom did it, or pageant dad, somebody from the pageant. I feel like that there is enough there that it's possible that somebody from the pageant or in that circuit had responsibility. Another one is a stranger that just seen her out in the public, that followed her home, scoped out the house, and broke into the house. I believe another one is they talk about this like cult leader guy. I see why they believe it's a possibility for him, so he's on the list. And then, of course, somebody very, very close to the family. Not saying it is the Whites or anything to do with the Whites, but somebody that close to them. Like, this person knew their house, they knew what their schedule was, they knew how much the bonus John was getting. And it happened after a Christmas party where somebody could have followed them from that Christmas party. So I feel like it was something ultra, ultra, ultra close. And someone ultra, ultra, ultra close. Somebody that they've seen, somebody that they've had a conversation with, somebody that they probably even call friend, I feel. So those are my 4 theories that I've got in the John Benet Ramsey case. My strongest theory, based on everything I've seen, believe it or not, and you won't hear me say this very much, but I do believe it's stranger danger in this particular case. I believe it's somebody that spotted them, somebody that stalked them, unbeknownst to them, and somebody that cased their house. I truly believe the assailant went in their house unknown, most likely when they had a party or a large gathering there where they could slip in and out undetected. I believe that there is something to do with that 911 call. I truly do believe it happened literally 2 days before she ended up deceased. So I think the 911 call at that party at their house days before she ended up being dead is very, very important. And I think law enforcement continuously dismisses that, and I think it should not be. Another key factor, I think the person was in the house before they ever came home. I believe that it was I believe whoever was there was lying in wait under a bed. I believe that the ransom note was written while they were at the Christmas party and not written after John Benet was murdered. It just makes more sense like that because the writing was not shaking. It was written when they had the ability to write. It seems like whoever wrote it was very relaxed inside the home. So the only way they'd be relaxed inside the home and be a third party is if they broke in prior to, had the ability to roam around the entire home freely without any interference from the family because they were gone. And I truly think that they took an opportunity right then because I truly do believe they were going to kidnap her. For whatever reason they were going to kidnap her, but I think their exit out through that window made it very difficult to push the child up while they were screaming. I don't think that he ever intended on unaliving her at first. But if he was going to get any gratification, it had to have been done there because he couldn't get her out of the house. I think that's the reason why it looked like they were trying to get out, but she ended up being right off that door, where I believe the assailant did exit out of the house, which is the same place I think he came into the house. So, I don't know, I have a lot of questions. It's definitely a mystery after 30 years, but I have to be honest with you, I'm getting a lot more out of this research than I have ever gotten out of any research, and it's really starting to take shape for me in the possible theories that it could be. But my strongest theory is I truly believe She was spotted at the mall. She was followed. She was stalked. The house was cased. And while they were casing the house, they had the party. And so the person was able to mingle through the house with the party. I believe that they called the 911 number to see what would happen and how long law enforcement would take to get to the house. And then made the plan to come back days later. When he got there, probably realized nobody was home. Took his time to walk through the home, write the letter, and get under one of the beds because one of the dust ruffles were pulled out as if something was being pulled out from under the bed. And I think that's where he hid and wait until the house got silent. And then when he came out, I think he stunned the little girl, wouldn't have heard anything, and carried her out of the house. I think she started screaming, potentially. I don't know. Because we still have to explain the bowl of pineapple on the counter. So my question is still, why JonBenét? She was beautiful. She was a very beautiful girl that got a lot of attention. So, and I don't want to dismiss, the possibility of an angry pageant mom or dad, but we have to identify that it was male DNA, not female DNA. So, my highest probability is stranger danger or somebody very close to them. Those are the two that are taking the biggest shape right now. So, anyways, like I said, I'm breaking the case down in a documentary, and I'm going to be explaining my work as well in that documentary as we walk through it. But I think there's a lot to do, and I think the dismissing of the 911 call on the 23rd was definitely a disadvantage to law enforcement. They should have taken that more seriously, especially in light of a missing child. All right, guys, thank you for coming out and hanging out with me, eating breakfast with me, making breakfast with me. It was really enjoyable this morning. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. We kind of had a casual morning this morning, and I kind of really enjoyed it. It wasn't really scripted or, a whole lot to go over today because I've been working very, very long hours on the JonBenét Ramsey documentary, which is taking away from some of the stuff I'm able to do on here. I know that, at the end of this, it most likely will not pay off with all the time and stuff that I'm putting into it, but it's something I definitely wanted to do. It's something I'm wanting to work on. So that's what's pushing me through this. I do hope by the time it's all said and done, you guys thoroughly enjoy it. But it's definitely a labor of love. Probably 20 years, a little too late, but either way, I think it will help. We'll see. All right, guys, I will see you guys back here this evening. I might throw a video or two out there, some throughout the day, just to take a break so I'm not beating my head against the wall like I was yesterday. I might do some videos today, like one or two, but for a live, we're going to be back here at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time tonight. 6:30 Eastern Standard Time tonight. We do have a special guest. Our beautiful Gypsy will be blessing us with her presence on the big screen. So please don't forget to come back here at 6:30. I will see you guys really soon, and we'll have good conversation. Have a great day, guys. See you soon.